All right, guys, we are working on chapter 4, people who supply our goods and services. We're working on lesson 3, producing and consuming goods. Can anyone let me know what page we are on? Because I don't have that page. And while you guys are telling me the page number, I'm going to go ahead and find it on our website. Remember, you guys would go through from Savas Easy Bridge.
Park.
Yes.
I didn't do anything because when I came a little bit late.
Okay, so we're going to click on chapter 4. We are now on lesson 3, producing and consuming goods. All right, it looks like, does anyone know what page we are on? We're on chapter 4, lesson 3, producing and consuming goods. Okay, all right, Ava says page 120, and then I'll ask for the end of the page. So if you guys have your social studies book, we're on page 120. Okay, goods, things we need or want that producers make or grow. Consumers, a person who buys and uses goods and services. Services, work done to help others. Process, to prepare or handle in a special way. Distributor, a person or company who sells goods to markets. Market, a place where goods are sold. And our academic word for this week or today is the sequence, the order in which events happens, like first, next, then last. Unlock the big question. I will know how producers and consumers work together. And then we are not going to do our jumpstart activity. All right, and then it looks like we're on pages 120 to 123 today. Thank you, Ava. All right, let's get started.
Who are consumers? Goods are things we need or want that producers make or grow. Producers sell goods in exchange for money. Consumers are people who buy and use goods and services. When you buy something, you are a consumer too. Services are the work done to help others. Doctors and store clerks provide services. So do community and government workers like police and firefighters. Producers can also be consumers. A cook buys many kinds of food to prepare in a restaurant. People who come to the restaurant buy and eat the food made by the cook.
And so here is that picture, okay? So here is the farmer. Goods are things we need or want that producers make or grow. So we want some, it looks like, what are they eating? It looks like he's eating a spaghetti, a hamburger. I think maybe she's eating a taco. She's bringing some French fries. Okay, so goods are the things that we want. So the goods that they want is a dinner. They want a nice dinner, okay? Now, the producer is going to be the person who sells the goods in exchange for money. So this farmer here is producing the food. They're creating all the food that they need, and then they're selling it to this restaurant. And then now this restaurant is now you can both be a producer and a consumer. So the consumer is first this restaurant. The restaurant is buying the pumpkins and things from the farmer. So now they are producing it. They're getting all of the food and they're turning it into these delicious meals. And now the consumers are these people who are consuming the food. They're now the ones who are buying the food from the restaurant and they're eating it. So producers can also be consumers. A cook buys many kinds of food to prepare in the restaurant, and then people who come to the restaurant buy and eat the food made by the cook. Oh, you were trying to ask for help. Okay, Angelica, if you still need help with the grammar, let me know and I'll help you after social studies.
From farm to market. Farmers grow and supply the food we eat. To get their goods to consumers, farmers need help from many people. These people do special jobs. One job is to process food. These workers prepare the food to be sold. Another job is done by distributors, workers who sell and deliver food to the markets. These markets may be grocery stores or even bakeries. Finally, workers at the markets sell the food to consumers. Long ago, most food was processed and distributed near farms. Consumers bought food locally. Then, as roads crossed the nation and people began to freeze foods, these jobs could be done farther away. 1. Reading check. Highlight what workers do to get a farmer's goods to market.
Okay, so let's reread to find that. Highlight what workers do to get a farmer's goods to market. Okay, farmers grow and supply the food we eat. To get their goods to consumers, farmers need help from many people. These people do special jobs. Okay, so we need to find out which person brings the farmer's goods to the market. One job is to process food. Process again means to prepare or handle in a special way. These workers prepare the food to be sold. Another job is done by distributors, workers who sell and deliver food to the market. Ooh, so we were supposed to highlight what workers do to get a farmer's good to market, farmer's goods to market. So the distributors sell and deliver the food to the market. So they buy it, they put it in their like their trucks, they deliver it to the supermarkets that you guys go to. These markets may be grocery stores or even bakeries. Finally, workers at the market sell the food to consumers. Long ago, most food was processed and distributed near farms. Consumers bought food locally. Then as roads crossed the nation and people began to freeze food, these jobs could be done farther away. Okay, you guys, be appropriate in the chat, please. All right, can anyone tell me what page this one is on? We're on strawberries on the move. Can you guys see this in your book? How we get strawberries? What page is this on? I want to make sure we're all on the right page. Thank you, Maylee and Ava. We are on page 122.
Strawberries on the move. How does a farmer's crop get from the farm to a market? You can see the order or sequence of steps in a flowchart.
This is called a flowchart.
How we get strawberries. 1. Producers grow and harvest the strawberries. 2. Strawberries are packed and taken to coolers. 3. Crates are loaded on refrigerated trucks and delivered to markets. 4. Consumers buy strawberries. Quest connections. How can the promise of a quick delivery help to sell a farmer's goods?
Well, if have you guys ever bought something, or have your parents ever bought something on Amazon? Whenever, like, a lot of times what people look for is when Amazon has like a 2-day delivery or could be delivered that day. People like getting their things very quickly. So when farmers can promise, oh, I can get these things quicker to you, people like that. People like having it because they might need it for something. They might also like it because, especially with produce like strawberries, the faster you get something, then the fresher it is. Think about like, have you guys ever eaten French fries from like In-N-Out or McDonald's? When you guys first eat those French fries, they're really crispy, they're warm, they're crispy on the outside, but nice and soft on the inside. But then what happens if you guys wait? Maybe you leave them in the bag and you forget about them and you try to eat your French fries like 2 hours later. What happens to those French fries? Are they still nice and crispy? Not really. They're usually kind of soggy. They might not be as crispy anymore. And then maybe you try to like microwave them or put them in the air fryer and then they're too crispy or they're too hard, or they just kind of get a little more soggy and just warm. So that's why we like to get things delivered quickly. That's why we like things fresh. Talk to a partner about at which steps can you buy strawberries? So when can you buy strawberries? Say yes or no in the chat. Producers grow and harvest the strawberries. Can you buy strawberries usually? Here, no. Strawberries are packed and taken to cooler. So now they're in a cooler. Can you buy them here? No. Crates are loaded and refrigerated on refrigerated trucks and delivered to markets. Can you buy them from the trucks? No. Consumers buy the strawberries. Can you buy them here? Yes. You would normally buy them at like a supermarket, like Ralph's or Vaughn's or Albertsons or Food for Less. All right, we are now on our lesson check. Summarize. How do producers and consumers work together? So a producer makes or grows what the consumer buys. So the producer is going to make or grow. So the producer can be the farmer. The producer is going to grow the vegetables, and the consumer, us, are going to buy them. That's going to be the answer for number 3. It can be a little more complicated than that too. It doesn't even have to be something that someone grows. It could be something that someone makes. Like a producer can be when we go to, let's say we go to a pizza restaurant. The producer is the pizza man. He is going to put all the ingredients together and he's going to make you a pizza. He's not going to, the pizza man usually doesn't grow all their own ingredients. They buy their ingredients from another producer. But then once they have all their ingredients, they'll make their pizza, they'll cook it or bake it, and then they'll sell it to you, the consumer, and then you'll buy that pizza and you'll eat it. You can also be a producer, not just for food, but for anything else, like a game. Like let's say, or like maybe you want to buy a new game, like you want to buy Minecraft. Someone has to produce that game. Someone has to build that game for you, and then you buy the game, and then so you're now the consumer of that game. Or someone produces like phones, like Miss Park has a cell phone. Someone produced this phone, they made this phone, they added all the glass and the chips and all the stuff that you need to make it work. And then I'm the consumer and I bought that phone. Okay, we're gonna move on. Number 4, write one job workers do to help farmers sell their goods. There was 2 jobs. We learned about can anyone remember? One of them was the distributor. What was the other one? It's the processor. One job is to process food. Another job is to distribute it. So I'm going to say the processor and the distributor. So we have the processor. They're the ones who process the food. And then we also have the distributor. And you know what? I think I have a really cool video I can show you guys on this, of a processor and a distributor. So let me find that video and then I'll send it to you guys. Okay, let's finish this. Okay, use a separate sheet of paper, draw a flow chart like the one shown, then draw pictures on the flow chart to show how consumers get oranges from the farm. You guys can draw this however way you want. So I'm gonna draw, I'm not gonna do a very good job. I'm gonna keep it all one color. If you wanna do other colors, you can. So here is gonna be my little orange grove, and oranges grow on trees. So I'm gonna draw my tree. And then the farmer, I'm gonna have my farmer drawing a hat. He's gonna climb up the ladder. You guys can do a much better job on this. And I'm just gonna make his arms really long, and he is gonna grab on and pick those oranges, okay? Sometimes they even have machines to do it. Okay, now, normally you would have like a processor, but I'm gonna skip the processor to get it to the consumer. I'm just gonna put the distributor in. And then this distributor is gonna now have oranges in his car. That's my little truck. And then we're gonna sell it at a little market. And I'm gonna make it a little fruit stand. And there's gonna be someone here. This is a horrible picture, I apologize. And then there's gonna be a person here, and then they're gonna give them money so they can buy the oranges. There you guys go. So you have the producer who grows the oranges, and then they give it to the processor and the distributor who distributes them to the stores, and then you go to the store as the consumer, and the consumer buys those oranges. And I believe that's it for today. So the last thing we're going to go do before we end this lesson is we are going to watch a quick little video. And then I'll show you guys another one tomorrow. And you guys can draw it however way you want. All right, so this is one on how raisins are made, okay? So this is why sometimes you need, why sometimes, like if you were to get like oranges, sometimes you don't even need a processor or a distributor, because you can just buy them straight from the grow. Like if you guys have ever gone apple picking, you can actually buy the apples and you can pick them yourselves. But sometimes there is going to be packaging, like this packaging is needed. If you've ever had raisins, you might have seen Sun-made raisins. So we're going to go through that process right now.
For 2,000 years. Today, there are potato chips and chocolate bars, but people are still snacking on raisins. Preserved and sweetened by the drying process, they can be enjoyed anytime, anywhere. 2,000 years on the snack circuit, and raisins still get plenty of nibbles. They're also a popular ingredient in baked goods, cereals, and salads. At this California vineyard, they plant grapevine cuttings in late winter. They're the seedless kind.
So this is the producer. This is the farmer, and he is growing grapes.
These cuttings take 3 years to grow and bear fruit. Each winter, they prune the vines, cutting away weaker canes and dead wood. Pruning reduces the number of buds, so the plant's energy goes to the ones that remain, resulting in larger fruit clusters. They twist the remaining shoots around an overhead wire trellis and tie them to it. Grapevines are natural climbers. Securing them to the trellis positions them to grow in an arc for maximum sun exposure. They pipe water between the rows. It pools there and seeps into the soil and down to the roots of the vines. These particular vines are growing on T-shaped trellises. It's an older style of trellis. When the grapes ripen, they cut the canes. The fruit continues to hang there, and it dries on the vines. After 6 to 8 weeks, the grapes shrivel up and become raisins. A harvester with comb-like teeth shakes the raisins from the vines. They fall onto a conveyor, and a vacuum pulls out leaves and then shoots the raisins into bins. On this particular harvester, the conveyor and the bins are on board. The T-trellises require a different harvesting system, and the bins are outside in the next row. Once full, a loader retrieves the bin, and then it's on its way to the packing plant.
The packing plant is the processor. So these are all workers of the farmers. The farmers hire all these people to grab all these raisins that have now dried, and now they're taking it to the packing plant, which is the processor. They're going to process these raisins.
Upon arrival, these raisins undergo extensive scrutiny. An inspector from the American Department of Agriculture looks for defects as the raisins bounce by on a shaker conveyor. Technicians also test the moisture content and general quality of the fruit. A vacuum removes twigs and stems. They're lighter than the raisins, and so they can be easily pulled out. Here's a sample of the raisins as they arrive from the field, and here they are with the plant debris removed. They often store the raisins for weeks before further production. And during this time, the raisins stick together and form clumps.
And you'll notice that this is the packing plant. It's different. The farms are usually outdoors. They need a lot of sun and soil and water. And we're here in a warehouse, and they're using a lot of machines, and they're processing, they're cleaning the raisins, they're getting out the twigs and things, and they're making it so that it's easy for people to eat.
A revolving wheel with paddles now breaks up the clumps and separates the raisins. They tumble off the conveyor and onto a perforated shaker table. This separates any raisins which may still be clinging together. Some cap stems remain. These bits link the grapes to the vine stems. The raisins now flow into cone-shaped machines that spin them to knock off the cap stems without damaging the raisins. Once the raisins have been sorted by size, they travel under sprayers for a rinse, wash, and then another rinse. They cruise by a laser that detects any missed cap stems or plant material. A blast of air then gets rid of them. Next, the raisins go into an inspection station, and a worker picks out any material that may have been missed by the laser. With her approval, the raisins are ready for packaging. Suctioning devices grab and unfold snack-sized boxes and place them, lid up, on a high-speed conveyor.
They're still processing it. They're in the process of putting them into packages to put them into the truck so that they can be sold in stores.
Raisins spill into the open snack boxes, and it's all a blur.
Now look how fast, you guys can't even see it. They're spilling all those grapes in there. Sometimes they might fall and they'll fall in here, but this machine is doing a really good job of getting all those raisins into
They fill 30,000 snack boxes an hour at this facility.
Wow, 30,000 an hour.
It takes about a year to grow and dry these raisins, and just minutes to package them. Stored in a cool, dry place, they will last for a year, unless someone eats them first.
Isn't that so cool? All right, guys, that is all that I have for you guys. So what we are going to be doing is the last part of your day, which is your art, health, social, emotional learning activity. You guys can watch the YouTube video to see what you guys can do. You guys can do an art lesson, an art for kids. You guys can do yoga. You could watch some mindfulness videos. You could do a breathing activity. If you guys have any questions, I know some of you guys did, you guys can stay and ask me. If not, I will see you guys tomorrow morning at 8:40. Don't forget, we're taking a comprehension test. Okay. All right. Bye, guys.